Hey guys, we're doing well today. So in today's video we talk the Highlanders versus the Hurricanes in round 5 of Super Rugby Aotearoa. So yeah, both sides obviously want to get a win, especially the Hurricanes after, that heartbreaking loss last week against the Chiefs. And then obviously the Highlanders also had a bye week last week, so they've had a bit of rest, and their last game they did play was actually against the Blues away, and to be frank, that wasn't really their best performance, they just weren't in that game. So they'll definitely want to change their, mentality within this game for sure. When you look at both sides, it's more or less they haven't made a lot of changes, but yeah, like I said, both teams will definitely want to win this one for sure. And the games we played with are Dunedin, so the Highlanders do have home advantage within this game, so that's definitely one to look out for. But anyway, yeah, here are the teams, obviously, and both the lineups for set of teams. And yeah, I'll just run by them and tell you what I think about them, and I'll give my prediction right afterwards. So no, obviously with the Highlanders, they do have the likes of De Groot and Tokalaki as their props, and I think that's a pretty good combination. I think De Groot, in my opinion, actually didn't play as well as I thought he would within that Blues game. So it's interesting to see that he's still continuing. I thought they would have gone with at least with Aiden Johnstone, but more or less I think De Groot still does the job, and he has a lot of Super Bowl experience, so fair enough. Then yeah, they'll be facing the likes of Xavier Numia, and then as well as Tyrell Lomax. So they actually haven't changed their props as well following the last game against the Chiefs. And I thought Numia was actually very good against the Chiefs. He's one of their probably best players. So I think that is probably their best combination, I'd say, for props for the future. So yeah, I think the Hurricanes just need to stick to that really. To be honest, I'm probably edging towards the Hurricanes within this section, purely because I think Tyrell Lomax is just a better prop, in my opinion, than Tokalaki. But Tokalaki is he's had a very good season for the Highlanders so far. So I'm edging towards the Hurricanes within that section. Yeah, for the Hookers, it's pretty interesting, obviously, with Ash Dixon being the co-captain, coming back into the side again, and that's pretty good to see because he brings a lot of Super Rugby experience. Then obviously, he is facing the return of Dan Coles, who's getting his first start, I believe, within Super Rugby Aotearoa this season, so it should be interesting to see how he goes. I'd probably edge towards Dan Coles, to be frank, but I wouldn't be surprised if even if both players actually get a try in this match, especially Ash Dixon, because he loves a line-out scrum, and yeah, that ball he's just brilliant to get a try from. So yeah, I can guarantee you that Ash Dixon, I won't be surprised if he gets a try. Anyway, moving on to the locks for both sides. With the locks, obviously, you do have the return of Per Parkinson for the Highlanders. That's probably the big addition, I'd say, to their side. And they'll be his partner in crime will be Bryn Evans, he's pretty good. I wouldn't say he's like a high quality lock, but he's a decent lock to have, and I think that'll be a good combination there. Then they'll be facing the likes of obviously Scott Scrapton as well as Aotearoa. So I think I'd edge it probably towards the Hurricanes because I think Scott Scrapton has a lot of Super Rugby experience in that sense, but Aotearoa is just an up and coming lock, and I think he has a lot of potential to be a good lock for the future. So yeah, I'll probably edge it towards the Hurricanes within the locking positions. So moving on to the loose forwards, obviously for both sides. The loose forwards, you do have the likes of Shannon Rizal at 6, Billy Harmon at 7, and then you do have the likes of Mikeleo Tutu at number 8, and yeah, that's a pretty good loose forward pack, I would say. I mean, it's going to be definitely a contest against the likes of Reed Princeton at 6. Dubuisi Karifi at 7, and then Artis Villa, of course, at number 8, who's obviously the captain of the side. So that'll probably be, in my opinion, the key battle for the game. I think whoever wins that battle between the loose forwards will actually have a better chance of winning the game. I think Shannon Rizal is probably the better 6. When you're comparing Reed the Prince up, when you look at the 7s, I'm probably edging towards Karifi, just ahead of Billy Harmon, but it's very close. And then I'd probably edge it towards obviously Artis Villa. So I think I'll say the Hurricanes have just a slight edge in my opinion, but I think both sides will be, it's going to be very interesting to see who's better within the breakdown, because that's going to be the main area in which we'll win a lot of penalties for each side. But anyway, moving on to the backs. So the backs obviously for both sides in the 9-10 combination. When you look at the Highlanders, you do have the likes of Aaron Smith, who has returned in the starting place. So that's good to see. And obviously he is the other co-captain for the side, so he'll bring a lot of Super Rugby experience within that role. And then his partner in crime will obviously be Mitch Hunt, which is interesting to see because obviously we've had the likes of Josh Ione, who's normally been playing there recently, but Mitch Hunt has now returned into that 10 spot, which I think he's better at. So I kind of like that switch. And yeah, they'll be facing the likes of Luke Campbell at number 9, who's starting again, and then obviously Orban Langer, who's another one who's starting again for the Hurricanes. So it's interesting to see that they haven't changed the combination there, but I'll see how it goes. I mean, to be honest, that combo doesn't really fill me with confidence, so that's kind of why I'd probably edge towards the Highlanders within that section. And yeah, Aaron Smith is just a world-class scrum master, so yeah, that's kind of a reason why. But anyway, moving on to the centres for both sides. If you look at the centres, obviously you do have the likes of, Tompkinson and Collins for the Highlanders, which is a pretty good combo in the sense where Tompkinson's more of a robust, he's a battering ram in that sense, and then Collins is more of a your playmaker. Then they are facing the likes of, Liam Mape, obviously by 12 spot, and then Billy Proctor. So it's a very good contest, and I probably said that's one of the other key battles from the game. I mean, Liam Mape, in my opinion, is slightly better than Tompkinson, but Collins and Billy Proctor is like similar in the sense. So I think it's kind of a draw. So I'm gonna say that's kind of a draw, to be frank. I mean, it just matters on who has the better day. Liam Mape has days where he's just off, but then some days he's top form. So we'll have to wait and see how he goes. But anyway, moving on to the wingers, obviously, for both sides. Yeah, with the Highlanders, you got the likes of Jonathan Orecki, who's been brilliant so far this season. I think he's, three tries so far, so yeah, he just needs to keep it up, really. And yeah, he'll be in the 11th spot, and his partner in crime within 14 will obviously be Vaka Kolo. So he's the debutant, I believe, for the Highlanders, and he is someone who I've watched closely. I've seen a lot of highlights of him, and he looks good. He looks seriously good. I mean, I think I saw a recent video with the Highlanders where he was playing for the U21s, and man, he looked ridiculous. Like the try he scored, he just powered through everyone. So yeah, definitely the wants to watch player I'd say within this game for sure, because he's just an up and coming winger, and I think he's a quality winger in my opinion. Anyway, moving on obviously to the Hurricanes. With the Hurricanes with their wingers, they do with the likes of Rassi at obviously that 11th spot. You had a pretty good game, I'd say, against the Chiefs. And then obviously you do have the likes of Wes Goosen, who's actually come back into the side. So we'll see how Wes does. I mean, he's like a reliable winger, to be frank. I mean, he reminds me of it more or less like George Bridge, how you can kind of rely on him to give you at least a 7 out of 10 performance every week. So yeah, he's a good winger in my opinion. I'd probably edge it towards the Highlanders actually at this point. It might not seem that I would do that, but I think the Highlanders, because I just like Orecki. He's on better form at the moment than Rassi, and I think Vaka Kolo he has a lot of potential. So I'm going to probably edge it towards the Highlanders within that winger spots. Then with the last position, obviously within this side, you do have the fullback, and it'll be a good battle between Josh Ione at 15 for the Highlanders and then Jordy Barrett for the Hurricanes. So in my opinion, I think Josh Ione has actually had a better season so far than Jordy Barrett. I mean, Jordy Barrett has just been way off his form compared to last season's Aotearoa competition. He just hasn't been the player that we've come to love, really. I mean, he hasn't really made he's made some gaps in the sense where he's broke the defense, but other than that, he hasn't. He's only been pretty good with his kicking so far, you could say, and he hasn't really made much of a difference from that position. So it's one of those things where in my opinion, I think you move him up into 10, and then you put in someone else. But yeah, it's one of those things where Jordy Barrett, obviously, he's very good early within the ball, and he's very good with kicking. So I understand why he's at 15, because obviously he'll win you a lot of. He'll do kicking for territory. He's probably one of the best. So I see the reasoning why, and that's probably why I'd edge it towards Jordy Barrett still. But yeah, Josh Ione is definitely creeping up ahead of him. But yeah, but that's kind of it with the sides. I mean, if I have to say my prediction for the game, I'd probably edge it towards the Highlanders. Actually, I think the Highlanders will, get their win. But see, I want the Hurricanes to win, to be frank, because obviously they haven't won a game yet within Super Rugby, Aotearoa this year. But I think the Highlanders will actually do it. It's one of those where I just think because they've returned to Paraguay Parkinson, Eric Smith back on the side, and they've there's some interesting characters to watch. I think the Highlanders will edge it, and of course they are at home. So I'm gonna say they'll win this game by at least. I'll say it's a small margin, so I'll say it by at least 5 points. So I'll say they'll win this game 30-25. Yeah, 30-25 is my final score. And 30 to the Highlanders, 25 to the Hurricanes. But anyway, that's gonna be it with the video. Just definitely like, comment, subscribe. Tell me below who you guys think will win, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.